So this is actually going to be discussing Colab's work in another project called On Create, which has been exploring creative processes in online collaboration. So a little bit, first of all, about what Colab is. Colab is interdisciplinary research network based in the School of Film and Media. Colleagues from School of Film and Media set up this project to develop workshops that bring students from across disciplines together to work on kind of issues within digital culture using collaborative forms and methods. So let me tell you a little bit about On Create. On Create is this 3-year Erasmus-funded project that we've been working on in conjunction with 9 other universities. So there was universities from Finland, Germany, Turkey, Slovenia, and us in the UK, I guess. We also had associate partners in Sydney, in Netherlands, and the UK. So On Create was a project that brought together the consortium to exchange, to share knowledge about online collaborative courses. So we wanted to explore contextual and processual knowledge in these instances and develop comprehensive tutorials for other educators to develop and create more efficient courses, I guess. So this project was about sharing and finding out the information available in the consortium, to look beyond the consortium, to gather information, and to build courses that we could evaluate and to develop frameworks for that. So this project was broken up into various phases. One of the other important things that I should mention, that this was about understanding the other contextual factors that are underpinning collaboration and how we can support the soft or social aspects of collaboration in online learning spaces. So the On Create initial research phase was kind of a large project that undertook internal sharing of best practices and as well as contacting industry and other academics from across Europe. We found out a number of different issues prevalent across the sector. One of them was that the needs and requirements of the consortium was varied. So us within Lincoln, our projects were based around blended learning forms. We do not have many distance learning projects, especially ones that we are working on, but we have been experimenting with using digital tools to support collaboration within the classroom and beyond. But some of the partners, they rely on fully collaborative or fully remote online learning, especially somewhere like Lapland University, which is spread out over the whole of northern Finland. So one of the key findings from this is that whilst all of the consortium partners and many of the other contacts that we kind of drew from used learning management systems as central ways to support and to share resources. But what was found is that these resources or these platforms weren't very good or weren't very established within the consortium for actual collaborative purposes. So we found that the consortium was looking beyond and was developing strategies that used a mashup of technical solutions, mostly drawing from free-to-use packages like Facebook and Google Drive and a number of different open online resources. So we have published some work into this that drew on the findings of the best practice phase. And then we started to do things with this. We started to develop the frameworks, understanding what contextual factors we need to explore and how we might start improving some of these courses. We did this through practices as well, through experimenting with tools and processes to see what worked, to see how we can embed them in different scenarios and contexts, and then how we can kind of improve our understanding of how to use these different tools, what we can learn from them. So I'm talking mainly from a Lincoln perspective. We did, like I said, we did have a consortium of 10 partners, but Google Drive was found to be one of the the core tools that was used on a regular basis, mainly for its cloud-based sharing, file sharing affordabilities, and the fact that it integrated a number of services, such as document creation, which was collaborative in nature. And this was the real key point here, that we utilized this as a way of collective pooling of research and for supporting developments in remote scenarios. We also used Facebook, mainly as an additional, what we saw as an online coffee room, something to support the main learning which was happening in a physical setting. And this was an area, a space that we thought was really good at capturing this kind of social aspect that is really important for collaboration. Especially, and I forgot to mention this, that this was in particular project that looked at innovation in the creative industries mainly, or creative processes with a focus on design and innovation. So we wanted to see how something like Facebook could be used to support that. We also saw it as a learning management system in some spaces to actually facilitate collective sharing of learning materials and of research. And we also used the kind of interactive features like the polls to kind of democratize the kind of the pooling of information and ideas of the students. Twitter was also used as a public dissemination tool for these events and for the courses that we were running, for social interaction. And more than that, they were situated within the actual learning activity. So how can we get students to utilize them in not only to kind of talk about the courses we're doing, but actually within the learning environments themselves, within learning activities themselves. We started to experiment with MOOCs, with massively open online content. These courses, which particularly in some of our partners in Finland, they were using these all the time. So we developed a relationship with Academy, which is a free to use, or it was at a particular time when we started to have a relationship with them. They were free to use MOOC. So we created some MOOCs for this. Our students used the MOOC, actually not as designed, but they used it in supporting of the blended learning workshops that we ran here at Lincoln in collaboration with our partners elsewhere. So this site, if you haven't used it, it allows educators to create and to share and manage online courses. So you can create your courses within this space, and it links up with Google Drive and a number of other platforms really well. So it allowed for real-time discussion and task management, and allowed us to kind of facilitate a number of different courses, which I will be discussing shortly. And underpinning a lot of these courses, especially in the ideation phases, we used Padlet and Pinterest for collaborative mood boarding, for pooling research, again, situating these within the learning activities themselves. So let's think about the collaborative courses that we ran. It was part of the outputs that we would produce courses for our students to take part in collaboration as joint courses with our partners from across Europe. So in each of these courses that I'll be discussing, we developed them in collaboration with our partners, and we had students from each of the institutions taking part. So we ran, first of all, we Collab as a group have ran a number of different interdisciplinary workshops. We've embedded these particular tools and processes in. You can see here how we used something like Google Docs for collaborative ideation. We have developed branding design courses, one of which actually, the output of which was the branding for the Lincoln School of Film and Media, which you may have seen around the university. This was in collaboration with Magdeburg University and Tampere University of Applied Sciences. So in these and this one we did some work in virtual reality. Again, many of these used a connected classrooms feature. So we actually linked up via Skype, via Google Hangouts, and provided peer feedback through the students, and they're working in mixed nationality groups throughout this. we did a few others. I'm going to click through this because I'm running out of time. We've done some stuff on service design, and we had some links up with the Hague University of Applied Sciences. So all of these courses were created in collaboration with the consortium and allowed our students to work in collaboration with those partners. Off the back of this, we created a framework of evaluation methods which are available on the OnCreate site, which I'll be discussing in just a second. So we identified these various features for evaluation. So these are open educational resources that other educators can look at areas which might need improvement in online courses and utilize these resources as a way of evaluating their own courses. So these are available at oncreate.eu or on-create.eu, and it has a toolbox of descriptions of the courses that we've ran, the methods that were employed throughout the project, and the evaluation frameworks themselves. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Oh, that's my details if you want to chat to me.